Did you know the difference between a good reno and a great reno can sometimes come down to your tiles? There's a lot to think about when you are tile shopping. Size, texture, color, performance. It can be a little overwhelming. But don't worry, Kimberly Seldon is here to help you narrow things down with a roundup of what's new and what's functional in tiling. And Kimberly, you're getting closer and closer to me. I love it. So you're at one of our studios right now.
I love it. I love it. And by the way, thank goodness it's overwhelming, or I would be totally out of a job. I'm so happy people still call me to build their homes. So thank goodness tile is overwhelming. Where do you think you should start in terms of talking about which tile to choose? I'm putting you on the spot.
You know what? I'm going to say let's talk about size. Size matters. Maybe that's where we need to start, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the last 10, 12, 13 years, the big news in tiles was large format. So look at the size of this bad boy, and you can see how dramatic this can look in a living environment. I brought you this picture with the black and white. Super drama, super high impact. Definitely not meant to be shy, right?
Absolutely.
So now what's happening is we're actually finding that the tiles have gotten so big, our clients are saying, hey, it's great the tiles are really big because that limits the amount of grout that you need to use with them. That's wonderful when you're talking about like a shower wall where you don't want to have to clean grout. But when you're talking about a floor, those grout lines actually provide some traction and therefore make them more slip resistant. So we're actually using more small scale tiles on the floor now with the large scale on the walls. So it could be anywhere from like a little subway tile like this on the floor, and of course in great patterns makes a lot of sense as well.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. You want the big tiles for certain projects. You want to use those smaller tiles when it really sort of makes sense in a space. Let's talk a little bit about what spaces you might want to go use those smaller tiles, and then let's talk about subway tiles. Are they still around?
The smaller tiles, we're usually on a floor, we're talking about a kind of a medium, mid-sized tile. When you get into the little small tiles, there's some really fun penny shapes, little circles, small little herringbone in glass or little subway, even mosaic. So those are fun when you want to make a splash, when you want to turn something into a feature. Often it's like a backsplash in a kitchen or something like that. And then subway tiles, yeah, absolutely. They're still so popular. Normally you would see them laid out vertically like you see on this board here, and I love the gradation between the kind of off-white and the oyster gray. Any color you can imagine. Of course, you never get tired of them, so you're always going to see them in fashion colors. You're going to see them in like exciting finishes you've never seen before. And then of course there's the classic like you see on the wall behind me where it's set in a herringbone pattern. So you take a product that's relatively affordable like a 2x6 subway tile, and you do it in a herringbone pattern, and suddenly you have something that's more interesting to look at. So thinking of that, what else can you do with subway patterns? Take a look at this image where you can see the pattern done vertically instead of horizontally. It makes such a big difference.
It really does. Okay, so if you have it laid out in a vertical style, what are we looking at here in terms of the style trend? Is it traditional? Is it modern? Is it transitional? What would you say?
That's a good question. It definitely makes it more contemporary, more modern. It energizes it, right? Where the horizontals are more of a traditional look. And then when you get into something like herringbone, depending on how you're using it, it could be very traditional, or you can mix tones and make it super dynamic and super energetic. The fun thing about the smaller herringbone tiles though too, you can also curve them. So take a look at this countertop where you can see an actual curve. What a fun way to create something more custom, more unique.
That is pretty cool. Okay, Kimberly, talk to me a little bit about cement tiles.
I'm so happy people are, and we're talking about, of course, encaustic cements like this. So these are not a new product. In the mid-1800s, they were making this as an alternative to more expensive ceramic floors. And there's kind of a lost wax technique that allows you, or at least then when they were actually made of cement, allowed you to create all kinds of intricate patterns patterns. Today, of course, we're making them in porcelain and ceramic and all kinds of things, but they have so much energy and so much play. So we did this home where the clients had it in the full downstairs hallway, and it's just a beautiful way to use that tile, and I still like them a lot, actually.
It is so gorgeous, and to be able to use them in such a big space that way, I feel like it takes some guts, but my goodness, the impact is incredible. Let's talk about spaces that we might not think traditionally we would use tiles, but maybe you want to go for a tile.
Oh gosh, yeah, for sure. I love the idea of using them sometimes as a feature wall. So for example, we did a living room, a condo, and on the fireplace we have these deeply textured tiles in metallic and black. You can see the image there, and you can see how much depth there is to some of the tiles. So they're going to create just such drama, so you don't want to hide them away. Something a little bit more subtle, but so sexy. Check out this. Isn't that pretty? It either looks like a henna pattern or a Nordic sweater pattern. So we're going to be doing this in a bathroom as well.
Well, I want tiles that look like a sweater. Didn't know that existed.
Right?
Very nice. Really good info. Really great inspo, Kimberly. Next time I better see you in studio with me, okay?
I'm coming to see you.
You come to see